Yeah, I'm watching the rise, and I wouldn't say I'm shocked, cause I'm hardly surprised. This one's for the ride, this one's for who knew I'd make it, just needed some time. This one's for my wife, could've left 1,000 times just to by my side. This one's for the grind, I knew it would happen, just had the strength in my mind. To the videos, they thought I was a black guy. That's hard to get over. I'm foreigner in the sport, but I'm fully devoted. I don't take it for granted that the door's been open. I knew I was different, I knew I was chosen. A breadwinner, but I'm soft-spoken. Authentic like a 5950 and there's no cap. Let's have a toast to that. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Let's have a toast for the real. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Let's have a toast for the real. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Have a toast for the real. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Have a toast for the They done baptized the bad guy. Still don't follow religion. The fabric's not average. The cotton's Egyptian. 500 for the shoes, come dirty, but the European. Less is more and less is the bank. Up the score, I pull up from trade. From the tray, I'm ballin' like trade. Do what I can, I do what you can't. I wrote this 30,000 feet up, 10 toes stay G'd up. I'm tryna get that type of wealth, like a house on the hills can't see us. Say the money still me up, stay humble, stay teed up. I don't tell you how to live, so don't hit me with no weak stuff. And if you know the deal, then you know the deal. If it's real, then you know it's real. Toast. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Let's have a toast for the real. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Let's have a toast for the real. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Have a toast for the real. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Have a toast for the real. Let's have a toast for the real. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Have a toast for the real. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Have a toast for the real. For the real ones. Have a toast for the real. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Have a toast for the real.
Hello, squaddies. How are you? I do apologise. I thought I'd actually scheduled this for 10:50 this evening UK time, and somehow I actually scheduled it for 10:50 AM tomorrow. So it is meant to be now. Thank you so much. If you're joining, I am absolutely exhausted, which is probably why I'm messing up scheduling times, but we are going to have a podcast now, so thank you so much for being patient. I've been running around like a headless chicken, last minute packing. I am not actually usually a last minute packer, I have to say. I'm usually packed at least a week before I'm meant to go, and this is exactly the reason why, because I panic and get exhausted. And because I'm going away for some time, I had to make sure that I've really, packed properly. So that is why I'm all over the place. But today's going to be an interesting podcast nonetheless. So thank you so much. I can see all the usuals here. Hi, Lydia. Hi, Elaine. No, Elaine, it is now. I'm just a numpty, a very tired numpty. So thank you everyone so much if you're joining us. Yes, please do thumbs up. Thank you, Church Nelly. Hi, my point of view. Yes, I almost didn't do a podcast, but I was like, you know what, girl? Kick yourself in the bum and just get on. And I feel like I can sleep well tonight, knowing that if I don't get to do a podcast tomorrow, if I'm too tired from flying, at least I've done a podcast today. And yeah, Patricia Nixon, this is going to be some week. Yeah, this is probably going to be the busiest week since the Oprah interview. Like, I've got my protein shakes ready. my caffeine shakes ready, my Red Bull ready. Gonna need all the energy that we can muster. All right, let's get into it. Let's not be too long with the intro because there is a lot to talk about. Yes, the tabloid rats, it would seem, are either scared of us or desperate for our attention. But we're going to get into that. Before I do get into that, though, yeah, yesterday I was running around trying to get PCR tests, and I did get my nails done. And shout out to Alana Nails in London who did my nails. She's amazing. She's so lovely. I think I almost convinced her to become a squaddy. So if you are interested in getting these really cute 3D nails done, please go to the community section and get the link. I love supporting small female-owned businesses, so I had to give her a shout out. So on to the news. Obviously, ahead of the Jubbly, a lot of people. Sorry, I had to mute for a second there. So a lot of people are looking to go on their bank holiday and enjoy the break that we've been given for the Jubbly. And I wasn't sure how many people would actually take the opportunity to go rather than stay. And it would seem that a lot of people actually do want to go. But the problem is that some airline companies are really struggling with the influx of people who would rather jet away than celebrate the Jubbly. And so, just if you are in the UK and you are looking to jet off for the bank holiday weekend that we've been given, just make sure that you're consistently checking your flight details, particularly if you are traveling with TUI. Watch out for that. But yeah, a lot of people, I guess, have decided that they're just going to jet off instead of stay around. I did see today, finally, quite a bit of bunting out in the high street. Oh, thank you so much, Rosa, for being here. And also thank you, Nafisa Sarbaz, for the super sticker. Highly appreciated, darling. Yeah, I did finally start to see some bunting out. There were quite a few shops that had like literally went over the top, had balloons and everything. So yeah, some people are getting excited about it, it would appear. And this was posted on the YouGov Twitter earlier today. Now, I don't usually trust YouGov because I feel like they're very slanted towards being pro-royal, and I don't usually trust their numbers, but this is the first time I've seen them post something that actually goes against the narrative that they usually try to push. So they did a survey about what Britons thought were the best things about Britain. And the top 5 things were the National Healthcare Service, the British countryside, the British history and national pride. And then coming in at number 4 was the monarchy and the royal family. Now, what was more interesting is that when you look at the percentages of people who picked the royal family as being one of the best things about Britain, so 55% of those people were aged 65 and over. So half of the people were basically boomers. And then 50 to 64-year-olds made up 40%. And then 25 to 49-year-olds made up 25%. And 18 to 24-year-olds made up 9%. So clearly the youths are less than impressed by the current situation with the royals. And this, I think we've known for a while, was always going to be one of the biggest problems for the firm because the youths just are not interested in the royals as past generations have been. And the current remaining royals, working royals, that is, aren't doing a particularly good job of bringing the royal family into the modern era, something that they could have enjoyed had they embraced Harry and Meghan, but they did not. So now they're paying the consequences. Thank you so much, Nelly Dean, for the super sticker. Much appreciated, darling. And people letting their feelings about the Platinum Jubilee be known. I'm so glad that finally we're getting to the point where people are more open to questioning why is it that we're celebrating this Jubilee and asking, well, what exactly is it that the Queen has done? And more people, I think, not accepting the usual throwaway answer of, service and the Queen being a steady voice and a steady head. Like, I feel like people are moving past that cult-like behavior. There was someone on Twitter that tweeted earlier today, when I asked people while they'll be celebrating the Platinum Jubilee, they tell me to think of the Queen's achievements since she's had the job. Therefore, I've started a list, but now I'm stuck. Can anyone help? Surely there should be more in 70 years. And he literally just wrote on the list, a list of the Queen's achievements. Number 1, staying alive. And that is literally all I can personally think of, unless we're going to include waving and ribbon cutting. But that's something even beauty queens can do. So more and more people questioning, what is it that we're celebrating again? Dolores Sims, they were trying to bring out the Cambridge children now because they need the attention. Well, I think the kids were always going to be a part of the Jubilee, so I don't think that's news. So I mean, this is the one time that I would actually expect for the children to be there, and I think most of the grandkids are going to be there, including the other minor royals. Probably bring their children as well. Mm, yes, Miss Levy, staying alive. I mean, if we're going by that standard, then we should probably be celebrating turtles too, because turtles live to like what 100. Parrots as well. Yes, Rosalind, I can't add to the list either. Thank you so much, Angela, and everyone wishing me a good trip. I'll still be podcasting in the evenings, as and when I had the energy, because I will be hard at work doing some projects. Ms. P talks, she has not done anything apart from stealing from the Commonwealth and making herself a billionaire, indeed. And we are going to be having one giant £1 billion party for said billionaire. Ugh. Okay, moving on. So this came out in the Daily Fail. Lilibet's first birthday with the Queen. Now, as with everything, if it's not confirmed from the Sussexes and we do not get pictures, I'm going to assume that it is just a rumor. However, the reason this rumor started was because it was announced that William and Kate would be away on what is meant to be Lilibet's birthday. So everybody is just assuming now that there will be some kind of birthday celebration for Lilibet. And no surprises, I guess, that Kate and William will be sent away. I think they're going to Wales or something. And I think also Sophie and Edward might be sent away, and Charles and Camilla as well. So just making it more and more clear exactly who it was that talked about Archie's skin color. Because how is Uncle William not going to be at Lilibet's party if indeed they're having one or some kind of christening? So I guess that space is still there between him and Harry. Let's see. Kate, my hubby had a shoulder surgery and I'm taking care of him. Oh, bless you, dear. I hope he recovers swiftly. Hi, Sylvia. Thanks for joining us. Lydia, I doubt they would have attended anyway. Yeah, I think so too. Marina, I actually want a distraction from Archie and Lily. None of them deserves to be seen or get a photo. Yeah, I don't want anyone in the British press to get a photo. I'm kind of stuck between being a fangirl and obviously wanting to see Archie and Lily, but still respecting that it's Meghan and Harry's choice. But either way, also not wanting the trash tabloids to get a picture so that they don't profit also. So, but ultimately, whatever Harry and Meghan decide, I will not be bothered if they come here with those kids and the kids go back and we don't see them. In fact, I would love it in a way because the tabloids will just throw a bigger tantrum. Elaine, the Cambridges are going to Wales, the Wessexes are going to Ireland, Anne is going to Scotland. Wow. So they've dispersed everyone. Well, um, Harry did say that there was still space, and Meghan did say that her biggest regret was trusting these people. So I highly doubt that they want them anywhere near their beautiful children, who are still very much babies. I don't think Harry and Meghan will be letting them out of their sight. Rosalind, they also said the Queen was not going to the Derby. Will never apologise to Meghan. Yeah, I feel like something quite drastic has to happen. Like he really has to be given the biggest slice of humble pie for him to apologise. Terry Johnson, staying alive shouldn't be that hard if you're guarded 100% of the time. Someone to wait on you hand and foot, and your sole job is to wave to those who paid you billions. That's what they expect. Exactly. I mean, the Queen could easily live to 110, to be honest. She was quite ill for some time. We didn't really see her, and it would appear that she's been given that endochrome or whatever it is they're giving her, and she's bounced right back. So she would easily live to 110. I mean, the way, to be honest, for a 96-year-old, 96, she's actually looking very good for 96. So Charles is going to have to wait longer, and so will Willie, if we even get to Will. Preparations for the Jubilee continue, and here are the Royalists camping out. I'd like to know how they're bathing. And the forecast for London is so far quite rainy, although with Google Weather, I find that it changes day to day. But this is what it looks like so far. Grey, quite unpredictable showers. So we'll see if that changes. But yes, the Royalists were there, and so were the protesters. A small group of protesters standing. This is right at the mouth of the Mall. So this is where the carriage procession is going to come through, take a bend, and go down towards Buckingham Palace. No word as to whether or not they will actually be there once the parade comes through. But they were there today with quite a sizable crowd. I haven't got the picture of the crowd here, but if you see the video of this on Twitter, there was quite a sizable crowd there out for this little group of protesters. So glad to see somebody making some noise. Hello, Dorothy Ross. Thank you so much for joining us. And so late also. You're in the UK. Incandescent and fluorescent need a big slice of... I agree, Church Nelly. Yes, Benjamin, no stress helps one stay alive. No complaining, no explaining, just hiding your money in tax havens. You'd live to 100 if you did that. Sylvia, Duchess, still can't get over Doolittle lied on Duchess Meghan with the cry story. Then she wore white to Meghan and Harry's wedding, standing on the church steps holding the flowers. Yeah, I feel like all of this is going to come out one day, and she's going to have to answer to this one day. I think that when all is said and done, and this house of cards falls, and she finally gives her Catherine reveals all interview one day after the divorce and whatnot, she will have to answer for this. Marina, that's bad news for Charles. Her to live over 100. I honestly think she could hit. I'm placing my bets on 102. I actually think she could lift to 102 easily. All right, so that's that. I'm moving on to yes, Republic, that anti-monarchy group. They've also put up a couple of billboards here and there. I used to be a little bit suspicious of this Republic group, and I still am. But they have nonetheless been doing the Lord's work. They've backed off of Harry and Meghan since they left the firm. So I will give them some props for what they're doing at the moment. And they actually raised over £40,000 in crowdfunding money to print and display slogans with "Make Elizabeth the Last." The chief executive of Republic, Graham Smith, said it's absolutely the right time to raise the issue and get people debating the future of the monarchy. But Reading councillor Clarence Mitchell said it was disgraceful. Republic said on its website the first set of billboards would go up in Reading, Manchester, Bournemouth, Birmingham, Dundee, Leeds, Glasgow, Newcastle, and Bristol. Wow. So they've actually taken quite a few billboards out across the country. That's pretty impressive. Mr. Graham Smith told the BBC 70 years of one person being head of state is not a great idea. It's not healthy for democracy. And this is also probably the last major event of the Queen's reign. And we need to start thinking about what's going to happen next. Absolutely. Agree with all of that. Benjamin, I can't believe Charles is not going to be there for his granddaughter he hasn't seen. Kind of sad. Well, Harry did speak of how he was disappointed by Charles for cutting him off. So it doesn't surprise me too much, I guess, that he won't be there. Also, over at Buckingham Palace, an intruder seems to be a lot of these so-called intruders prancing around palaces. Was arrested on the grounds of Buckingham Palace. He said that he wanted to see the Queen. A man with a facial tattoo reading "Truly Blessed" oh my gosh, was arrested for allegedly trespassing on the grounds of Buckingham Palace days before the Platinum Jubilee celebrations after telling household staff, "I want to see the Queen," a court has heard. So we remember just a few weeks ago, there was someone who he disguised himself, I think it was as a guard or something, and managed to get through. So tell me again why Harry is wrong about worrying about security, because clearly there's a problem here. Anyway, it goes on to say, Connor Attridge, 28, allegedly walked through the vehicle gate of the Royal Mews on Sunday night when it was opened to allow a car through. He managed to breach the palace boundary by 3 to 5 meters after refusing to stop when challenged by a member of the household staff, Westminster Magistrates Court heard. He has a facial tattoo reading "Truly Blessed," and he said, "I want to come in, I want to see the Queen," before being ushered out of the gate and arrested, the court was told. He appeared in the dock on Tuesday, charged with trespassing on protected site on May 29th, and his arrest comes amid heightened security around the palace in the run-up to the extended bank holiday to celebrate the Queen's 70th reign. The Tripping of the Colours Sovereign's official birthday parade will kickstart the kickstart 4 days of the festivities. Okay, so yeah, another palace breach, and slightly worrying because this is meant to be a time when there is much more heightened security. So, how somebody could trespass so um so close to the Jubilee is quite worrying. Jessica, business is more important to the royal family than keeping Harry and Meghan safe. Indeed. And it was the same with Diana as well. Anyone who overshadows them, they're jealous about. Legs, didn't he drink and spend the night with the guards too? Yes, the other intruder did. Indeed, that's true. Benjamin, this is why Harry and Meghan are not paranoid about security. They can use that as a cover like paparazzi will use with Diana. I need not say more on this. We suspect her no. Um, wouldn't this be a reason for them to be paranoid about security? I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. But yeah, I mean, they will be coming with their own security. We just don't know whether or not Harry was given permission to hire his own private armed guards. But I'm assuming because if they're coming, then he was. We don't know. So over at Stonehenge, this was happening. They projected the Queen onto the stones. People were not that impressed. I personally didn't see the point of this. I don't see that anyone's going to go running to Stonehenge just because there's projections of the Queen on Stonehenge. And somebody said on Twitter, and did you ask or consider Britain's pagan community, to whom the stones are sacred, before you did this? Almost certainly not. Did you consider that the stones were erected by our pagan ancestor eons before the Norman kings? Have some respect. So I don't claim to know the full history of the stones, which is a bit of a shame because I actually went to Stonehenge a couple of years ago. I guess I just didn't really listen to the history lesson. But going by this gentleman's tweet, I guess they should have just been a little bit more mindful. And again, I just don't see the point of this. I just don't see the point. But yeah, that happened. Oh, hello for joining us, Joseph. How are you? Annie, will the unroyals at least be at the festivals at all? I don't actually know. Maybe tomorrow we can have a quick scan through the Jubbly itinerary, but I don't really know who's going to be where. Obviously, just really concerned about where Harry and Meghan are going to be. Mrs. B, I heard the haters are planning to boo Harry and Meghan. Well, they keep saying that Harry and Meghan are going to get booed, but I actually think that Harry and Meghan are going to get the loudest cheers. Right. Then there's this little story. Now, I mentioned this on the podcast the other day, but I didn't really go too deep into it. It was William going solo to the Rose Hanbury's estate to check out the horse trials and raised a few eyebrows because I don't think Catherine was there. And obviously, this is Prince William's quote unquote Norfolk friend. So a lot of people were just giving side eye and wondering why he went alone. And while he was there, he was being very huggy with Mike Tyndall. Look at the way he's clawing his back. Like, isn't that just not weird to you? And I did wonder, after all those pictures of Nacho and Prince Harry, looking like brothers from different mothers, whether or not that irked William. And it would appear that it did, because they wanted to absolutely make sure that they got this image, because you just never see William acting like this with other members of the royal family. So I think those pictures of Harry and Nacho definitely irked them. At the end of the day, we can't choose our actual families, but sometimes it's our actual family that betray us. And in this case, William betrayed Harry. And in Nacho, I think that he has a chosen brother. This is a chosen brother, and Nacho has said that he will defend the Sussexes with his life. And sometimes it's those that aren't even related to you that will be the most loyal. And how wonderful is it that Nacho actually lives in the Santa Barbara area? He has young children who can be friends with the Sussexes' children. And that Harry has such an amazing friend and brother in Nacho. Oh, Elaine, did I thank you for the super sticker? My short-term memory is going a bit funny, but in case I didn't, I'm just going to thank you again. Bonnie, I saw someone copy the Stonehenge idea and projected the image on rubbish bins. Oh gosh. Lottie, Legs. Thank you so much for the super chat. Can we bring up the fact that the royals are spending who knows how much on the Jubbly and Andrew while flying their helicopters and people are going hungry in the UK? Yes, we can absolutely bring up that fact because it is a very, very good fact. And it's something that I think a lot of people are now starting to question. Why are we spending all this money when people are going hungry? And it's just kind of funny to see all of this bunting and memorabilia in the shops when people can barely afford their shopping bills because of inflation. They can barely afford their gas bills because of price hikes. Your national insurance is now a bigger portion of your pay cut. Travel. Oh my goodness, traveling around London. I can get a return flight to some countries on mainland Europe cheaper than a train. So it's cheaper to now get on a plane to go to mainland Europe than it is just for a day travel card in London. That's how crazy prices are getting. Marilyn, I wonder if the Sussexes are already, but thank you so much, Legs, for your comment. Marilyn, I wonder if the Sussexes are already in the UK. Perhaps. I haven't looked at Daniel Martin's Instagram, but I'll have a look and update you tomorrow, because if he's on the plane, then Meghan must be on the way too. Joyce, I'm sure if they get booed, the press has handpicked people to boo. Yes, so do you all remember that engagement when we got the famous umbrella picture? There was literally one person who was like, boo, and it was just like the one loud idiot. And it sounded so staged. So staged. So I'm sure they've probably got a couple of paid people. Church Nelly, I hate that the Sussexes are being used to bring attention to the Jubbly. Well, the press have no other choice. And that brings us to the next slide. They've got no other choice because otherwise, I just don't think people are that wholly interested. I mean, look at this. This is from the Times. Inside Harry and Meghan's big Jubilee trip. This is meant to be the Queen's Jubilee, and it's turned into the Harry and Meghan Jubilee because Harry and Meghan are just more popular and more interesting. And this is who people are interested in seeing. So, you can't help it if you're popular. And people keep saying, oh, they're going to overshadow the Queen. Well, yeah, of course they're going to overshadow the Queen because they're just more interesting. Jeremy Vine, this fall, their show tweeted this earlier today. As the country marks the Queen's 70 years on the throne, should Republicans perhaps keep their views to themselves this week? Celebrations are planned up and down the country. Do we really need anti-royalists spoiling the mood? Well, isn't the mood already spoiled by the fact that people can't afford their grocery shopping. Jeremy Vine. So please spare me your whining. I will be spoiling the mood with my anti-royal sentiment all week. And we are meant to be a country that prides ourselves on free speech. So if I want to whine about the royals during the Jubilee, I will do just that. Carter, glad you arrived safely. I'm not there yet, hun. Not there yet. Just read the Scobie Yahoo piece. Oh, the Scobie piece was amazing. If you haven't read it already, he just talks about Meghan having the right to just not really care about what it is her dad and that the Markle side of her family are doing. Because I just find it scandalous that this clan barely talked to each other before Meghan entered the royal family, and now they've all found common ground in trying to leech off of Meghan. Rosalind, how many children can be fed on the money spent on flags alone? They got them all over the city. Exactly. I mean, this Jubbly is costing over $1 billion, and I'm trying to see exactly where the money is going. Like, where is the money going? I mean, listen, security alone might be within the region of a couple, like, I don't know, maybe 30, 40, 50 million odd. Because there's very, very heavy security around the whole of central London, underground. But even then, it's like, I can't see where the money is going. I just can't. And what would be even more interesting, as the figures come through, another thing that I want to look into is the companies that were contracted to do work for the Jubbly. Do any of those companies have links to the royals, their friends, and those in the upper echelons of the British establishment? Are they using this Jubbly to feed their friends' pockets? Similar with the Mr. C contracts scandals. There were a lot of people who were given contracts who weren't necessarily qualified to engage in a medical emergency, but they were friends of people in government. So I want to know, penny for penny, where all the money went, because I can't see where it went, unless you're telling me every single one of those flags cost $1 million to put up. In which case, I could have put them up for you. Let's have a look here. What you're saying in the comment section. Lottie, I don't think Harry and Meghan will get booed. I don't think they'll get booed either. Personally, Baron is a Duchess. I was actually in Baron's chat earlier. Oh, it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. Yes, we are all Meghan Markle. We are all Meghan. We are all Spartacus. We should start that trending. We are Meghan Markle. Do you know what gets me about that whole thing? I mean, I'm going to get into it in a sec. Baron is a guy, so you would think if they were going to accuse anyone of being Meghan, like, it would be one of the girl channels. And I think that this is just my theory. The British press, the trolls, the Markles, just can't wrap their head around how organic the support for the Sussexes is. They can't wrap their head around it. They keep trying to want to convince themselves that we're being paid somehow by the Sussexes, that we're undercover agents. And it's just not true. To the point where I've seen people who are making a hell of a lot of money being pro-Sussex, who for their own reason left. So for example, like Hugo Talks. He was one of the biggest pro Harry and Meghan channels going. I think he had like over 150,000 subscribers at the height of his channel, and was getting on average something like 50 to 60,000 views a day. And due to his own beliefs, he stopped the channel. Somebody who was earning that much money, that as he would have been earning, like why would somebody stop their channel if they were being paid? Why would they do that? They'd have no reason to. And so I just think they can't wrap their head around the fact that a lot of these pro Sussex channels are just organic, because we wanted to push back against the narrative. And they tried so hard to accuse us of being bots, or to accuse us of being in cahoots with the Sussexes. They have tried to infiltrate our circles, always in the DMs, causing infighting. But it just hasn't worked because there's too many of us. We're not a cult. We're not a monolith. We do things individually. And I think that's what makes us so strong. And so they've got nothing on us. And I think that we are scaring them. The courtiers don't know how to deal with us on social media. We have pushed back so hard against the royal rodents. And so they find themselves in a position where they don't know how to navigate the Sussex squad, because we are almost like an AI automated beehive at this point. Yeah, Boney. They're spending all that money and then telling people to live with 30p on meals. Exactly. Exactly. Nelly, guys, what about we are the Markle Sparkle instead? We can't stand the name Markle. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Meghan Sparkle. Yes, 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 Meghan Sparkle. I love that. Let's see. Yeah, William Kenneth Wooten. What I'm not yet sure about though is Wooten acting on his own, or is he acting on behalf of the palace? Because if he's acting on behalf of the palace, that would suggest that the palace thinks that this is somehow working in their favor, and it's not. It's making a circus out of the Jubilee, and it's making a circus out of them. So if anybody from the palace is listening and thinking this whole circus with Thomas Markle is making you look good, if you think that this is some kind of gotcha at Meghan, you need to tell Dan Wooten to stop, because the only people that look silly are you now. This is now rubbing off on you. Yes, Cinderella, will the real Meghan Markle please stand up? Dolores, I heard many of permits haven't been granted for the street parties. Oh, that's interesting. Carolyn, some of the money is to pay back Charles. Is to pay Charles back the 12 million that he paid for Andrew. Wouldn't be surprised. I think we need to get hashtag We Are Meghan trending. I agree. Yes, Alita, they are paying the squad attention even if they are lying about the content. And this is the second time that Wooten has mentioned the squad. It's the second time. So either they are really scared or just trying to bait us for attention. Vinnie Blair, Daniel Martin is already in the UK and meeting up with Meghan's one-time hairdresser, George Norwood, and her BFF from college who lives here, Lindsay Roth, and the fellow has written about that already. Oh, okay. Lottie G, Baron was great today. Yes, indeed he was. I watched the whole podcast. He brought out the receipts that I didn't know existed. He was on fire, absolutely. I love this for us. um, yes, Julia, we are lovers, not haters. Joseph, if everyone is terrified that you might take the attention away from everyone else at the Jubbly, you must not be relevant. Exactly. This exactly. Like they are obsessed with where the Sussexes are going to be. Julia, you are Megan. I don't believe that Megan looks at social media, but Harry is known to, like in the past, it's been said that he does. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if Harry listened, but I don't believe that Megan does. And it wouldn't surprise me if their people listened, people that know them listen. Because if the British tabloids are listening, then the courtiers are going to be listening. People in the royal households are going to be listening. Hi, anybody from the Middleton household, if you're listening. uh, Legs, the problem is that those half Markles have hated Meghan with her success. She's beautiful, intelligent, and innovative. They are just wet trash. Trash does as trash does. It stinks all over the place, indeed. And they have made an absolute stink of this whole situation. I mean, why are British TV shows having these people on to talk about what? And then on the actual segment with Dan Wooten, I'm not going to play it because I think you've probably all already seen it. He starts plugging his Instagram. So just any opportunity to big up themselves. And I find it interesting that they keep accusing the squad of being paid. But how do we know that they're not being paid by the palace or by the tabloids? And yeah, this is what I can imagine Harry's reaction in private to be. Kiss my behind. Dr. Shola always coming in with the truth and facts, saying on the matter, when Thomas Markle dies without his daughter, Meghan Markle, at his side, he has nobody to blame but himself. He will reap what he sowed. We can't choose our parents, but we can choose to have peace of mind. Amen. Meghan Markle has made her peace and moved on from her wicked father. Thomas Markle stopped being a father to Meghan long ago. Now he's just a sperm donor. So leave Meghan Markle alone. Why is it each time Thomas Markle is meant to come to London, he gets he gets a stroke? That is a good question. First, Meghan Markle's wedding, invited, then Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebration. He said he was coming for, but I suspect uninvited. I'm just asking, just seems odd. Indeed, and I feel like everyone has pointed this out that the whole thing was suspect. You know, I know two people in my family in the last couple of years who've had major strokes. Both of them died. And this guy was up looking straight at the TMZ camera while apparently having a major stroke and recovered 5 days later. Doesn't sound very convincing to me. Miss Olivia Hemmings, Wooten is headed in the same direction as Morgan. Just give him enough time. Yes, I 100% agree with that. He about to get his comeuppance very soon, along with the likes of Morgan. Rowan, I thought Thomas Markle Jr. was in jail for domestic violence. Apparently not, because he was sticking his nose around the polo the other week. But I don't know about his past, to be honest, so I can't comment on that. All right. Oh, and make sure to carry on donating to our Central Kitchen or sharing the page. Let's get that number up. This happened today. The Archbishop said that Prince Andrew should be forgiven for his abuse scandal. Um, he suggested in an interview. Now I'm gonna play exactly what he said, because it definitely raised some eyebrows. He does redeem himself a little bit at the end, probably knowing that he's gonna get ripped to shreds. But he does say something that irritates me nonetheless. So let's just I'm gonna play it through the microphone, so just give it a listen.
That we celebrate. There's a difference between consequences and forgiveness. I think for all of us, one of the ways that we celebrate when we come together is in learning to be a more open and forgiving society. Now, with Prince Andrew, I think we all have to step back a bit. He's seeking to make amends, and I think that's a very good thing. But you can't tell people how they're to respond about this, and the issues of the past in the area of abuse are so intensely personal and private for so many people. It's not surprising there's very deep feelings indeed.
Right, so that's what he said. Yeah, I don't think that anybody needs to take a step back when it comes to Andrew. I think that in the position that he's in, very privileged, very rich, he should have faced his day in court. And I find it interesting that the Archbishop would come out for Andrew, but not for Harry and Meghan. I don't think he's ever really spoken in defense of them. So he was getting a lot of heat for that on the interwebs. Claudia, they think we're getting paid because they are. No, I can absolutely confirm that I have never had anyone from the Sussex camp contact me, and quite frankly, I don't want anybody from the Sussex camp to contact me. I like the fact that I have some distance between myself and my faves, because then I can just say what I want. Like I don't want to have to feel like I ever have to censor myself. So I would never engage with Harry and Meghan's people, even if they reached out to me, because I always want to have the freedom to say how I feel. Dana Wooten realized the squad is the force to refute the lies and smear campaign put out. These are not the 90s. Indeed. And the tabloids don't have control anymore. We have taken it. Legs, I don't understand Wooten. After the flag incident, you would think he would get out of the harassment of others. Well, I don't think he ever really faced his day in court for what happened to Carolyn Flack. And in fact, Carolyn Flack's boyfriend, if you remember, I discussed this on another podcast, got charged with harassing Wooten, because the boyfriend had accused Wooten of bullying Carolyn Flack and partly being responsible for her taking her life. And the boyfriend got charged. So I think that probably made Wooten even more confident. Lynn, Wooten should get the same treatment as Thomas. The squad should give him a title. What should his title be? Yeah, and he also accused the squad of, having something to do with Thomas Markle's ill health. Like, the man is morbidly obese and clearly not taking care of himself. I don't know how it's the squad that could have given him a heart attack or a stroke. Julia, the bishop is on meth. Like, wow. Sylvia, I've had 2 family members that have had strokes. One had a stroke right in front of me, and I promise having a stroke is very serious. There is rehab afterwards. Exactly. You don't just recover like that. Daniel Martin shared V's podcast on I Rise to Megan 2 years ago. So I think Daniel listens. Oh, that's interesting. I never knew about that. Well, I love V's podcasts. They're so well recorded. They're smart. They're sassy. So yeah, wouldn't surprise me. I'm sure there are people within Meghan's circle that must listen to Sussex Squad content. They must. Pat J, the Archbishop point of view is just wrong. I'm not surprised because the church has a history of sweeping child abuse under the rug. Of course, Andrew needs to be in jail. Oh, can everyone hear me now? Am I back on? Can you hear me now? Oh, thank goodness. Oh, no idea what happened there. It's like I got kicked out of the stream for some reason. Gosh, that's so annoying. Anyway, we were almost about to finish, so no worries, guys and dolls. I'm so sorry about that. I saw someone say it's the ghost of Djibouti. Yes, it's the ghost of Djibouti, Odessa. It's the ghost of Djibouti. Oh gosh. But yes, the Archbishop was talking nonsense and got slated for it all over these internet streets. Okay, so actually, do you know what? I didn't really have any more slides. I did just want to give one heartfelt shout out to this gentleman. This is a real man with a capital M here. This is a Texas man who was making customized caskets for each of the 19 young victims and two teachers from the school shooting. Trey Genem visited with the families last week. So each casket is personalized to include each of the children's interests. And I just think that is so, so, so sweet. Lord, give me an empathetic man with a beard and tattoos like this, please. It's great to see communities coming together and people helping each other. And it's just sad that it often takes for something so tragic to happen, um, for communities to come together like this. But it's just nice to see that those children, after such a dramatic and sad exit from the world too soon, they will at least be laid to rest in peace. So I will try and find out and see if there are any local community drives or anything that you can donate to and put those on the community tab if I find any. But do support, of course, in any way that you can. And with that, we are almost at the Jubbly. It's all going to be over soon, folks. I'll just end with your comments and then we'll call it a day. I am exhausted. Oh my gosh. It's exactly midnight there. Sorry, midnight here. And I just need to go to sleep. Marina, yes, Djibouti. The giblet. That's one thing I'm going to miss about all of this. It's like all the names, the giblet, the juicy fruits, the Djibouti, the jujube. Yeah, bless him, soaking. Yeah, the beard. The beard is what got me. Cookies and cream. I can't wait for the city Jubbly to be over so that Virginia can speak openly about that disgusting Prince Android. I agree. Yeah, the ghost of Djibouti. Oh, all right. Who's gonna get the last word of the day? Yes, bless that man. Oh, thank you so much, Effany Green, for the super sticker. Bless you, dear. Marina, for real, stuff the Djibouti and feed the poor. Indeed. Yeah, Lynn, we have to make Wooten. The thing is, I feel like when the Sussex squad makes people trend, it can go two ways. We either get him again, go in for the final punch and take him out, or it can go the other way where we just give them more visibility. So I agree, we need to make him trend, but we need to do it in a way that that's tactical. All right, Gwendolyn, I'll give the last word of the day. Thank you. Thank you so much for saying that the podcast is fabulous. Thank you to you all for showing up. So grateful to all of you. I cannot believe that we are almost at 9,000 subscribers, guys and dolls. If you're listening to this and you have not hit that subscriber button, please do. Let's get us to 9,000. Like I said, I am out about flying tomorrow, so if something big happens, then I will put my big girl pants on and do a podcast. Otherwise, I am traveling, so I might be quite tired, but we'll see. I'll keep you updated, and yes, I still will be podcasting throughout my time there. So yeah, as Cookies and Creams has said, everyone please stay safe, pray and hydrate. It's going to be a long week, but we will get through it. See you later, my loves. Bye.
I know I messed it up, but in my soul, I feel a love for you that's out of control. Sometimes I feel like I can make you whole.